thought is look back and be grateful. Look ahead and be hopeful. Look around and be helpful. I repeat it again. Look back and be grateful. Look ahead and be hopeful. Look around and be helpful. Good morning everyone. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8th, subject English. And today we are going to read one chapter of our supplementary reader book, that is It So Happened. This is our chapter number 4 and the name of the chapter is The Treasure Within. This is my lecture number 2 of the same chapter. This chapter is taken from It So Happened book. As I told you in previous video that this chapter will be covered in 2 lectures. So this is the lecture number 2 of the same chapter. Students, today in this video we are going to read objectives, main key points and detailed summary along with word meanings of this chapter. After then we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 1 of chapter 4, that is The Treasure Within. Although we have already discussed the objectives of this chapter, so let's have a review of all the objectives again. Number 1. To encourage the learners to share their personal experiences. Number 2. To sensitize the students to the feelings of an individual. Number 3. To enable the learners to identify their strength and weakness based on areas of their aptitude and interest. Number 4. To help the learners in making decisions for the future regarding their choice of subjects, courses and careers. Number 5. To enable them use new words and phrases in their own sentences. Number 6. To enable them express themselves in grammatically correct language. So these are the objectives of the chapter. So let's have a look on main key points of the chapter. Number 1. Hafiz was an unhappy but carefree schoolboy who loved doing things but not interested in mechanical learning. Number 2. When he reached his 11th class, the principal advised him to act as a responsible grown-up boy and take his studies seriously. The principal's advice had a deep influence on Hafiz. He scored 50% marks in his SSC exam. Number 3. Hafiz's contractor was destined, means a person's future regarded as developing as through according to a pre-exciting plan. To be an architect. Though he never tried to be one, it was by chance that he became a famous architect. Number 4. The lesson highlights the key idea that every child is talented and a potential achiever and is different from other children in his or her style of learning and area of interest. So these are the key points of the chapter. Now let's read the summary of part 2 to understand the chapter in detail. Bela Rajarshi asked from Hafiz's contractor, "How did you get into the field of architecture?" Hafiz's contractor replied that in the college for architecture, nobody who had got below 80 to 85% was allowed to enter. I had only 50%. I wanted to join army. I got my admission letter, but my aunt tore it up. Then I decided that I wanted to join police force. My mother said, "Don't join the police force, just do your graduation." Means Mrs. or Miss Bela Raja asked him how he got into the field of architecture with such low grades? The contractor replied that after school he wanted to join the army, as he knew that it is not possible to take admission in architecture college in this low grade, so that's why he wanted to join the army. His aunt wouldn't allow it. His mother wouldn't allow him to join police force either. She asked him to do his graduation first instead of joining police force. So I went to Jai Hind College in Bombay. There I was to either take French or German. Though I had studied French for 7 years, I did not know 7 words of French. So I took German. Then my German teacher died. Then the college told me that you could change the college or take French. So I decided that I will take French. Means it was by using some influence that he got admission in Jai Hind College. There he had to study French because his teacher, German teacher, he had died. That's why he decided to take again French. A chance encounter with an architect. And I started learning French again. I learned it from my cousin. She was an architect's wife. I was going to an architect's office to learn French. Means, being weak at French, he had to take his married cousin's help. Her husband was an architect, so he started going to an architect's office to learn French. In the architect's office, Bela Raja, she asked from Hafiz Contractor, was it then that you decided you wanted to do architecture? Hafiz Contractor replied that actually it all happened quite by chance. In the architect's office, I saw somebody drawing a window detail. A window detail is a very advanced drawing. I told him that his drawing was wrong, that the window he had drawn would not open. He then had a bet with me, and later he found that indeed his drawing was wrong. Means, one day in the architect's office, he saw somebody drawing a window detail. The window detail is a very advanced drawing. Hafiz told him that his drawing was wrong. He added that the window he had drawn would not open. There was a bet with Hafiz Contractor, in which Hafiz Contractor won. My cousin's husband was surprised. He asked me to draw a few specific things, which I immediately did. This surprised his cousin's husband. He asked him to draw a few specific things. Hafiz did that at once. He asked me to design a house, and I designed a house. Then he said to Hafiz Contractor, drop everything and join architecture. Means, the man was so impressed that he asked Hafiz to drop everything, means graduation, and join architecture. Admission in architecture. Then I and my cousin's husband, we went to meet the principal of the College of Architecture. The principal warned me, I will allow you to take part in the entrance exams, but if you don't do well, I will not allow you to join. Means that architect took him to the principal of the college. In the College of the Architecture, nobody who had got below 80 to 90% or 90% was allowed to enter. Contractor had only 50%. So the principal warned him, I will allow you to take part in the entrance examination, but if you don't do well, I will not allow you to join. Means I will not give you admission in this college if you score bad marks. I got an A+ in the entrance exam, and from that day it was a cakewalk. I had never made a plan, but I knew how something looked like from the top. I had never known what a section was, but I knew if you cut a plan what it would look like. I stood first class first throughout after that. Means Contractor got an A plus in the entrance examination. After that it was a cakewalk, means smooth ride. He stood first class first throughout after that, means he always stood first in the class from that day. I believe that all this understanding came from what I used to play and do during school. I had a friend called Behram Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns and ammunition. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. Means his understanding came from the activities he was doing during school time. He used to have competitions with his friend Behram Divecha. The competitions between them were about designing guns, forts and several kinds of ammunitions, means bullets. They always tried to design something different. The source of genius. In school, when I was in second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw my sketches and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you become an architect." I did not know at that time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to meet her and tell her. Means Contractor never made a plan. One of his teachers, Mrs. Gupta, had told him, "You are useless in everything, but your sketches are good." She had advised him to be an architect on growing up. When he became one, means when he became architect, he went back to meet her and told her so that now he had become an architect. Contractor disliked studies. Bela Rajarshi asked from Hafiz Contractor, "Why do you think you did not like studies? Was it because you felt you could not cope, couldn't or could not deal with curriculum?" Hafiz Contractor replied that I was very bad at languages. Science and geography I could deal with. Maths was very bad. I just was not interested. I was studying for the sake of studying. What they taught me today I would forget after 2 days. I would not bother because there was no application of mind there to being with. Means Mrs. or Miss Bela Raja asked from Hafiz Contractor why he did not or didn't like studies. Was it because he felt could cope, means manage, deal or handle, couldn't or could not deal with curriculum? Curriculum means school subjects. Then Hafiz replied that he was bad at languages. His maths was also very bad. In fact, he never applied his mind to them. He was in a boarding school where every day was a same for him. When there was tests, he just copied. Giftedness and Learning. Bela Rajarshi asked from Hafiz Contractor, there is an contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? Then Hafiz Contractor said that, well, take some students from my class. Those who always stood first or second are today doing very ordinary jobs. Means the interviewer asked him whether he thinks the contention that the giftedness means having special abilities and learning go hand in hand applies to him. He replied that those who always stood first or second in his school are doing ordinary jobs. Then Bela Rajarshi asked from Hafiz Contractor, I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinarily job. Hafiz Contractor said that in school, I think living our lives there made us street smart. I have learnt more by doing what I did on my own than what academies would have taught me. Means, as for himself, the school life made him street smart, means smart by doing things independently. He learned more by what he did than what the books taught him. Special interests. Bela Raja, she asked from Hafiz Contractor, that is because the personality and skills were there. You were able to find expression in a manner you were comfortable with, and you defied every rule so that nobody would stop you from doing what you needed to do. Then Hafiz Contractor replied that I was more interested in other things. If, for example, while in class it started raining outside, I would think of the flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. That was my interest for the day. Means, at school, Contractor was interested in other things and not in books. If it rained outside the class, he would think of the flowing water. He would forget the lecture and think about the flow of water within the dam. He would wonder how much water would the dam hold. So that was my interest, means that was his interest for the day when he was in school. Helping his friends. When students lost a button while playing or fighting, they would come running to me and I would cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. Discipline in the school was very important and no student could afford to have a button missing. The student would get past dinner with a full neat uniform and after that it did not matter. Means, discipline in his school was very important. Sometimes a student would lose a button while playing or fighting. In that case, he would run to Contractor. Contractor would cut a button from a chalk using a blade. Then no one could see that his real button was missing. He would get past dinner with a full neat uniform in replacement of helping friends. His structures. Bela Raja asked from Hafiz Contractor, coming to the present, how do you decide as to what kind of structure you want to give a client? Hafiz Contractor replied that I look at the client's face, his clothes, the way he talks and pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spontaneously on a paper on the spot. The paper I give to my people in the office. Then Bela Raja asked from Hafiz Contractor, you do it instinctively. Means, today when a client comes to Contractor, he looks at him closely. He would observe his face, clothes and manners. That gives him an idea of his taste. He is able to relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. Then he makes a sketch spontaneously, means immediately. He gives it to his people in the office, means he gives that paper on the spot to the client in the office. Contractor's mathematics. Bela Raja, she asked from Hafiz Contractor, you do it instinctively, means naturally. Hafiz Contractor replied that call it instinct, means natural aptitude. Call it arithmetic, means a part of mathematics, whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics, putting design, construction, psychology and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. Here we almost come to a full circle where Mr. Contractor has derived his own interpretation of mathematics, taking it from a subject he hated to a subject he now loves dealing with. Means, Contractor says his sketches are his mathematics. He puts design, construction, psychology and sociology together, making a sketch from all. That is Contractor's definition of mathematics. So this was a summary of part 2 of chapter 4, that is the treasures within, or the treasure within. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me, and your homework is read chapter 4, that is the treasure within, and write word meanings highlighted in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book It So Happened As. Page number 32, comprehension check, question number 1 to 6. These questions you have to do in your Fair English notebook by following the correct format. As many students are not having It So Happened book with them, so here in this video I have mentioned your homework in detail. Comprehension check, page number 32, question number 1 is Hafiz Contractor wanted to join the police force. Why didn't he? Question number 2 is in the architect's office, Hafiz Contractor was advised to drop everything and join architecture. Why? Question number 3, part 1 is what was Mrs. Gupta's advice to Hafiz Contractor? Question number 3, part 2 is what made her advise him so? Question number 4 is how did he help fellow students who had lost a button? Question number 5 is which rules did he break as a schoolboy? Question number 6, part 1 is what is Hafiz Contractor's definition of mathematics? Question number 6, part 2 is how would you want to define mathematics? Do you like the subject? Students, from Monday, that is 8th June 2020, as your summer breaks are starting, so there will be no video lectures till 30th June. Due to this, I will upload your homework solution of chapter 4 part 2 on EdQuark under homework column. So please check the solution of this chapter and complete your work. Now in this video, we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned to you in lecture number 1 of chapter 4, that is the treasure within, which is taken from It So Happened book. Students, we have already discussed objectives, key points and detailed summary with word meanings of part 1 in lecture number 1. As I assigned you homework which was to be done by you on the basis of your understanding, and your homework was read chapter 4, that is the treasure within, and write word meanings highlighted in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book It So Happened As. Page number 28, comprehension check, question number 1 to 4. Now let us discuss word meanings of part 1 of chapter 4, that is the treasure within. Number 1, stimulating means encouraging. I repeat it again, stimulating means encouraging. Number 2, spontaneous means natural. I repeat it again, spontaneous means natural. Number 3, nightmares means haunting fear. I repeat it again, nightmares means haunting fear. Number 4, psyche means mind or mentality. I repeat it again, psyche means mind or mentality. Number 5, canning means punishment. Canning means punishment. Number 6, distraction means something amusing or pleasurable. I repeat it again, distraction means something amusing or pleasurable. Number 7, content means eat as much as wanted. I repeat it again, content means eat as much as wanted. Number 8, strategies means methods of winning fights. I repeat it again, strategies means method of winning fights. So these were the word meanings of part 1. Now let's discuss questions and answers of Chapter 4, Part 1. Question number 1 is, what did Hafiz Contractor have nightmares about? The answer of the question is, Hafiz Contractor got nightmares about appearing for a mathematics examination in which he did not know anything. Question number 2 is, what did the principal say to him which influenced him deeply? The answer of the question is, the principal said to him how his mother toiled hard to bring up him in spite of his father's death. He further said that he was grown up and should start taking care of himself, that he should start giving top priority to his studies instead of sports. Question number 3 is, that year I didn't or did not step out onto the field. What was he busy doing that year? The answer of the question is, he was busy in studying books that year. He went for prayers and just ate and studied. Question number 4, Part 1 is, what distraction did Hafiz Contractor create one day? The answer of the question is, one day he did not want to study. So he created a distraction. For one whole hour or hour, he played chore police with his friends. Question number 4, Part 2 is, would you have liked to participate in the distraction had you been with him? The answer of the question is, in this answer, you can write your own views. Either you could like or not have liked. Answer may vary. According to me, the answer is, I would have avoided such distraction for fear of the teacher. Moreover, it was completely a wastage of time. So, this is the end of the lecture. Students, if you like our videos, please hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and enjoy your summer holidays.